And we're on. Woo.
Welcome. Hello. I'm Rob. Birmingham Wine School, of course. I'll have I was going to say my good friend, but the son.
We're not friends.
Not friends, that's true.
No. I don't get paid though, so.
Well, I'm not going to pay you.
That would be good.
You might be. You might want to sort of think you're doing a good job if I pay you. So welcome. They can't see the picture.
They can.
So anyway, so welcome. We're going to just sort of waffle on for a few moments while we let people join in.
So we're going to.
We're good at waffling. So Ben.
Yeah. So Dad.
What did you do this week?
I need to prepare. I didn't prepare again.
Well, I ask the question every week. So.
Yeah. What did I do this week? I've had a lot of uni work. I made you a cup of tea.
You did. That's true.
Got very upset. I hadn't made him a cup of tea. So I made him a cup of tea.
Tea duty's been better this week, yeah. You and Mom both been better tea duties. That's true.
Anytime.
So we watched. We saw the third episode of Killing Eve. Did we not?
We did. Mum fell asleep.
Well, as always, Mum falls asleep.
Yeah.
You should say hello, Mum, because Mum's washing tonight. Just the first. Hello, Mum.
I haven't seen her all day.
I haven't seen her all day. I don't know where she is. So yeah, I thought it was okay. Not as good as series 1 or 2, but it's getting there slowly.
Oh, how many episodes? Are there meant to be 6 episodes in a series?
No idea.
If there's meant to be 6 episodes, then it's happened.
Through.
Nothing's happened.
Yeah.
Hello, Ben Wyatt.
I guess say hello to your friend. So that, and we saw the second episode of Run. There's only one problem with Run. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, no.
It's not going anywhere.
It was a bad joke. We didn't laugh.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Anyway, I told you a couple of the books I was reading last week, which was The Dry. But this week I've been reading some science fiction. So if you're into science fiction, I do like a good science fiction movie. John Scalzi's books. He wrote a sort of series of about 5 or 6 books of The Old Man's War, which is set in the far future, of course. I quite like that. I'm currently reading The Collapsing Empire, which again is set in the very far future, planets long, a long way from Earth. It's pretty exciting. I'm on the third, last book of that series. So if you want a good sci-fi book, John Scalzi. In fact, when I was looking him up today, he wrote a book in 2014 called The Lock-In, and it's based upon a flu virus pandemic going around the world. And I thought I was given where we are.
Yeah. So you finished 1984?
I did finish 1984. I thought it was. I mean, for this time, for reading it now, brilliant in terms of what it's portraying as just a read. But Mom thought I was being a bit unkind. So no, it was a good book. I can understand why people liked it. It's obviously an iconic book, but I think I prefer modern fiction. If that's the case. So how are we doing? We all good there? Jeff Bolter's there. Hopefully you can hear me. I know old age tablet. Hi both. Hello everyone. Got Louise, got Dave. Hello, Dave and Kim. Hi, Helen. Oh, hello, Rupert again. Hello. Good. Dominic, fantastic. Helen. That's all good, right? So I think we're going to. How many people we got, Ben, watching?
We've got 57.
57. That's a good number.
Almost your age. Not quite.
Not quite. No. So anyway, welcome. Welcome to Birmingham Wine School. We are doing Shiraz, or if you prefer Syrah, we're doing Shiraz and Syrah this week with what, Ben? With added
what?
Added chocolate.
Added chocolate. I've not
added chocolate. So we're going to do some chocolate and wine tasting tonight. And so what did we learn last week? We did Chardonnay last week.
Yeah.
The Tale of Two Oaks. No, Tale of Two Cities. To oak or not to oak. That was the thing. Yeah. So what did we learn about Chardonnay? We learned you could oak it or not.
Yeah, that was the white wine.
Chardonnay is white wine. Yes, well done.
Yeah, I learned that.
Yeah. Anything else? You didn't like them, really, did you?
No, I didn't like them much at all.
You didn't care whether it was oaked or unoaked. You just felt they were.
They all tasted the same to me.
They tasted the same.
I know. Sorry.
Okay. Well, we'll see if tonight's taste any different. And we did oak. So we talked about different types of oak. We talked about malactic conversion.
We did.
What did that do?
Malactic conversion did something in the oaks. And
the lows acidity. Just makes it low. Lows acidity makes them easy to drink. All that good stuff. All that good stuff. We did lee stirring, which adds texture and body. So we did all those things last week. So this week we're going to talk about red wines. We're going to talk about Syrah and Shiraz in particular.
Are they 2 different wines?
That's a good question.
Because it's not clear.
It's not clear.
Not to a special one like me.
No. So why would a grape have two different names? Do you think?
Because they couldn't decide on the first one.
Yeah. Well, the Syrah has been around in France for since the Roman times. The Romans seemed to sort of spread the grapes. It's around in sort of France for sort of 2,000 years or so, so a long time. And it was James Busby which actually took the vine into Australia in around 1830, 1840. And for some reason, the name got changed then. They don't know whether it was
Chinese
to do
whispers.
with Chinese whispers. It was a bit like either because it was mislabeled, or what I've read is that some people thought the Australians pronounced it so strangely they started calling it Shiraz. So I don't know. Anyway, so had nothing to do with the.
Can you do the accent again?
No, I can't do the accent. I couldn't even do it the first time. So not sure I'd try a second time. So nothing to do with the city or the town in Iran. There's or Iran, depends which part of it, or Persia as we used to call it. So nothing to do with that town, unfortunately. But so two different names, but they are the same. They are the same grape variety, same DNA.
Okay.
So the same grape variety. And I think one thing I'm going to test you on when we get to the Rioja night is the
When's
names.
that? I was only signed for 4 weeks, so
You only signed for 4 weeks.
yeah, you need to. When's the contract up for renewal?
I thought we agreed last week we'd gone to Series 2.
I had okay. Sorry, yeah.
That'd be nice.
We've been renewed
Recommissioned.
by the Facebook.
Yeah, I'm not sure why people. Who recommissioned us?
No one.
No. So, oh, well.
So what they do isn't they? When someone can't get a deal with an industry, they make their own business to get the deal, like artists, don't they?
Just make our own. Oh, well, we could.
Let's make our own.
Oh,
Yeah.
we are anyway. Yeah. So what I want to do tonight. So we've got this. I've got 3 wines because again I've had 5 wines to taste today. I'm not complaining. So I've got 2 Shirazes and I've got one Syrah. If you went to buy the case from Fraser's, you've got the Pasque, which is the Syrah, and you've either got the Ass Kicker or the don't laugh, or the Grows Touch. So we're going to talk about those.
Is that similar to the one you had a few weeks back?
A Chardonnay. We had a Chardonnay version of that.
Okay.
Or something like
Recognise
that.
the label.
Yeah. So we had a white wine equivalent of that.
Okay.
Might have been the Chenin Blanc. Can't remember. So we've got a couple of Shirazes and that. Now you may not have got the ones for Fraser's. You might have just got a couple of sort of Syrahs or Shirazes. You may just have got some red wine. You may be drinking a cup of tea. But welcome to everyone. I'm going to say thank you to Jeff, Katie, Rupert, Dominic, and Helen again because they're going to help me answer any of your questions. So if you want to comment, you want to add anything, Ben will try and read them.
Will I?
You try, but those guys are there to help. So please ask any questions, make any comments, and they will do their best. And I tend to have a look through afterwards, and if I can, I'll have a go at answering them as well. So the reason why it's got 2 names, largely now it reflects style, because if you compare a Syrah generally is referring to style of wine that's similar to the French style.
And is that only in Australia?
No. So Syrahs and Shiraz are grapes that are planted around the world.
Right.
Yeah. So we got the grape, and it's the 6th most planted grape. So the most popular grape, and I think we said this last week, the most popular grape is Cabernet Sauvignon, followed by Merlot.
Yeah.
Followed by Tempranillo.
Yeah.
There's a grape you've not heard of before, is it?
There's lots of grapes I haven't heard of.
Well, that's true.
The fourth one was
the fourth one. Go on then. Was the one you cheated at last week?
Did it begin with an R?
No.
I don't know. I've given up.
Aaron.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Aaron.
Yeah. So and 5th the Chardonnay, and 6th is the Syrah grape or Shiraz grape. In fact, I tell you where to go. Last week.
Good old pal.
Last week,
yeah.
You cheated on the £1 million
I've
question.
never cheated.
You did.
I haven't.
There were people helping and coughing. Exactly. So I'm not only going to give you a £1,000 question this week.
If Charles Ingram can remain, innocent, then so can I.
Was it? Yeah. So you can ask. Yeah. Again, you can ask the audience. You can use your lifelines this week if you want. Okay. So here's your £1,000 question.
Can I ask Mum?
Mom will know. Which country has the most Syrah or Shiraz vineyards or vines in the world? So which country's got the most planted sort of Syrah Shiraz vines in the world? Do you want a choice of 4?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we've got A, Chile. Okay. We've got B, France.
Yeah.
We've got C, USA. We've got D, Australia. Okay, so Chile, France, USA, Australia. Which of those countries has the most Syrah planted? Or Shiraz?
I really don't know. So, we're either going to wait for Jeff and Dominic to tell us.
Yeah, they should know, shouldn't they?
Or
so you can do that. I mean, you can do that. In fact, those aren't the top 4 countries. So two of them are actually. So it's quite interesting. You know the top 4 countries for Syrah, but I'll tell you that afterwards. So,
tell me the top 4 now.
I'm going to tell you the top 4 now. No. I'm going to tell you that now. Okay. So I'll just talk about so why is 2 names? So if you've got a wine and it's called Syrah, it's more likely to be either a French wine, because that's what they call it, or it's a country like the one we've got in New Zealand, which is a more cool, moderate country, trying to copy the French style. So it's fairly easy to buy Syrah and Shiraz from the New World being Australia and South America, South Africa, North America, because they'll put the name of the grape on the label. The problem, if you want to buy Syrah from France, is that they are unlikely to put the name on the label. They will call it something else.
Why is that?
Because the most important thing in Europe is where the vines are located.
Okay.
So this goes back to terroir. It goes back to wines reflecting the sense of the place where they're grown. So the most famous region for Syrah wines in France is the Northern Rhone. And the Northern Rhone, the only red grape permitted is Syrah. So if you want to make red wines, and most Northern Rhones are red wines, the grape is Syrah. And you'll see very famous regions like Côte Rôtie, means roasted slope. Slopes are quite important. Or Hermitage. Some of the most famous sort of Syrahs come from those 2 areas. You might get better value in Crow's Hermitage, a much bigger area. Cornas is a good area for Syrah. You've got Saint-Joseph. So you've got different areas in Northern Rhone, but say they won't put Syrah on the label. Not allowed to put any other red grape in there, but strangely they are permitted. They are allowed to blend or co-ferment with some white varieties.
All right.
Côte Rôtie can be blended or co-fermented with Viognier.
When you say co-fermented, is that?
Well, it's unusual because most wines are fermented. Most grapes are fermented separately, and they blend afterwards.
Right.
Yeah. Syrah and Viognier, which means they actually put the Viognier grapes in the same fermenting vat as Syrah, which is very unusual to do.
And then take them apart?
No, it's just blended together. And the idea is that what Viognier does, it helps fix colour, helps give them aromatic lift, gives it a bit more sort of texture. So they don't do it as much nowadays, but some Côte Rôtie producers still use 5% Viognier in there. And some Australian producers do the same. You'll sometimes see a sort of a Shiraz Viognier blend. So that's really a white grape being blended with a black grape, which is quite unusual. And you think you know the answer. Let's finish on Hermitage can use Roussanne and Marsanne as well. Very rarely nowadays, but they do make some lovely white wines. Viognier, I think Viognier is my favourite white grape variety. And let's to Catherine. Catherine, if you ever see Viognier from Condrieu is a region in Northern Rhone. That Viognier for me, please. That'll be a good wine for my 60th next year.
You're right.
Yeah.
Start to forget.
We didn't have it this year, so I'm going to have it next year. So go on then. What did you?
So
who said what?
There's been quite a few of Australia's, the Aussies.
Yeah.
There's been quite a few.
Well, it's Australia. It could be right because it is the most planted grape in Australia.
And the other people said Chile.
Chile, okay.
I don't think anyone has said anything else, at least from what we can see on here.
Okay. Do you want a 50-50?
Go on, I have a 50-50.
Okay, so computer, take away.
Computer says no.
Computer, take away 2 randomly wrong answers. You are left with A, Chile, B, France.
Well, whoever says Oz was trying to get me the wrong answer.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Chile. I'm going to stick with what I said initially before I even looked at the old age tag.
You thought Chile.
Yeah, and it's France, isn't it?
It is France. France by quite a long way. France is number 1. France produces almost a third more than Australia.
Dave said France.
Well done, Dave. Well done, Dave.
You can have the grand.
So France won. Australia is second. So Australia is second. And they are a long way clear of the third country, which is actually Spain.
So you just threw Chile in there too.
Chile's nowhere. So I mean, not even and fourth is actually Argentina.
Right.
There you go. So there's the top four countries which plant the most Syrah. So we're still talking about different styles, aren't we? Why don't we have a look at our wine? So if you've got a Syrah, or you've got the one from Fraser's they sent out, this is the Pasque. It's from New Zealand, and lovely 7 years of age on it. I do love older wine. So 2013, Gimmick Gravels, which is a very famous wine region in Hawke's Bay. Hawke's Bay being part of the North Island, a bit warmer up there, a bit warmer than Marlborough. Therefore ideally suited to Syrah, but still sort of cool to moderate climate really. So let's pick it up. You can pick your glass up.
Which one is it? I've still got the small glasses.
On the left. That's the left one.
Oh no, I was about to say.
So you still haven't graduated, have you? No. I mean, how many wines did you taste this week? I mean, you're not putting a lot of effort into this. One. So all week.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
all week.
Given I've been doing lots of wine tastings at home.
Yeah.
Okay, we've been doing a lot of WSET level 2 tastings at home, so we've been going through 3, 4, 5 wines a day, plus the Facebook stuff. All those wines still in the fridge, you've not even bothered, have you?
Well, I have. Just you weren't there. I was chugging them in my room.
Chugging?
You didn't need a glass, though.
What does chugging mean?
To chug, it's a verb.
Hannah's mentioned that as well.
Chug. Binging. Been binging on your wine.
These good people don't want to hear about you chugging, okay? So anyway, so this is Syrah. Style-wise, I mean, what you should expect from Syrah, sort of because it's cooler climate, you'd expect to get maybe a bit of red fruit, maybe some black fruits. You'll it'd be floral. You'll get some evidence of oak, so maybe some smoke, bit of spice. Can age well, and you can get a bit of leather, tobacco, and that sort of stuff. So have a swirl.
Dominic making me laugh.
What's Dominic doing?
Is that a new word for slurping? It's not. It's not a new word for slurping.
Okay.
Ask Susie Dent from Dictionary Corner. Okay. I'm sure she'd know.
So come on, pick up your Syrah, give it a swirl, stick your nose in. What do you smell?
Shouldn't ask me this question. Fruity?
Fruit? Yeah, well, it's always good, isn't it? Fruit, yeah. I just read some off, actually. You could have just made them up. If you can read, you can have read that.
Black pepper. Definitely getting some black pepper, yeah.
What are the characteristics of Syrah and Shiraz is that they're quite spicy.
Spicy. And
something that differentiates the Syrah away from the Shiraz is that I think it's tone. Is it that's actually Syrah is more peppery. You tend to get more sort of a sweeter spice in Shiraz, maybe a bit more licorice. So I think it's quite spicy. It's quite light.
So it doesn't have a long finish.
It's quite light, I think. It's reflecting its cooler climate. Tannins are not too harsh on this one. Sort of.
That's very nice.
You like that one? Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
No, you found a wine he likes. Yeah. So yeah, it's quite nice. I think it's quite easy to drink actually. If you were to drink a Syrah from France, you'd find it perhaps even leaner. You'd find the tannins a bit chalkier. But I think that's not a bad equivalent, and I don't think from memory it's that expensive. I know we bought the case, but I think this was only about £8 or £9 a bottle. No, I think that's quite elegant, really. So yeah, I think it's got some lovely spice, some black fruits coming through, some blackberry. I think you're showing a bit of savoury, a bit of sort of savoury aspects coming through as well.
Yeah, it's not too sweet.
No, it's not too sweet.
Kim says it's easy drinking.
It is easy
Kim's
drinking,
right.
Kim. You are right, Kim. Yeah, indeed. Okay.
Oak, but not heavy.
Oh wow! So
Zoe?
Zoe Bentley says the cask costs about £27 in Sweden.
Oh wow!
It shows what good value for money wines we have in the UK. In fact, UK is one of the best places to buy wine.
Why is that?
Well, duty adds a lot of cost to
I was
wine.
about to say.
So duty is by the time you added VAT is almost £2.80 for every bottle of wine. Yeah, so it's quite high. But we have the most competitive sort of wine.
So they're not making as much margin.
No, tiny margins. Yeah. So and because we sell wines mainly through supermarkets, they're based on volume. So that's why you need to support the smaller guys. You've got Connolly's in Birmingham, you've got Fraser's in Birmingham. Worth trying to support those guys. Loki as well do some great tastings and also have their little sort of that ergonomic machine. So worth looking after those guys.
Dominic's asked, how do New World and Old World Syrah differ?
I'm going to come on to that. So thanks, Dominic. Okay. We'll come on to that. We could actually, you know what we could do? We could do a bit. You know the sort of the thing that goes on at 5 o'clock each day. What's it called?
Yeah. Should we do our own briefing?
So when I was thinking, so what we could, they do a presentation, don't they? And then they go to questions. And we could either get questions from the experts like the journalists, so from Dominic and Jeff and Rupert and all
so
that.
Who's Boris Johnson and who's Professor Whitty?
Or we could,
I'm the witty one.
Or you're the witty one. Or we could, so you put me off there. Or we could just ask the members of the public to ask questions. You see, so we're going to cover the different. So and effectively, these are lighter in style, a bit more red fruits. I think a bit more chalky tannins, drier tannins, less body, so not as much body. It's typically reflecting the wine from a cooler climate, I think. So I think I quite like that one. So I mean, if you want to buy it from France, then you've got the Northern Rhodes. I've gone through some of the main areas there. So you've got Côte-Rôtie, you've got Hermitage, Cornas as well. But you can also get Syrah from other parts of France. You've got Languedoc-Roussillon, which is on the Mediterranean border. You've got Southern Rhone. Southern Rhone is more. These are all tend to be blended now. Syrah tends to get blended with Grenache and Carignan and Mourvèdre. So Provence, Southern Rhone, Languedoc-Roussillon. So huge area for sort of Syrah down in that. So the Romans probably brought the vine into that part of France around 2,000 years ago. It was first planted in Australia, because we're going to try a couple of Australian ones next by James Busby in around the 1830s, 1840s.
We've still not got a vine. We need to do that when B&Q opens again.
Ours hasn't opened. The Banbury one is not opened. But we got some examples. I think we will. I'll tell you what, that's going to be a project for the summer, isn't it? We're going to plant a vine.
Start bottling your own wine. That'd be a good wine tasting.
You could try. So, even you got that one wrong. I'm going to give you another chance.
Got what wrong?
The question.
Oh, that, yeah.
So I'm going to give you another chance, okay? So, which of these countries, I'm going to give you the same 4 countries, which of these countries has the oldest Shiraz vineyards? Okay, so what did we went? We went the oldest Shiraz vineyards. So which has got the oldest Shiraz vines? Okay? Yep. So we've got Chile, France again, USA, Australia. So out of those countries, Chile, France, USA, Australia, which of those countries has the oldest Shiraz vines, vineyards? Yeah. So you have a think about that. Again, these guys might better help. I have talked about this in some of my classes, so they may have a.
So which Shiraz?
Shiraz, yeah. So Shiraz, or Syrah, doesn't matter. I'm not. Yeah, don't okay. Yeah, so
the USA isn't that old. It's not the USA.
The USA's been there for as long as Europe, mate.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm not that good at history. Is it the USA?
Well, you're looking from a European perspective, aren't you? That that's might be when we found it, but I think it was there.
Says Oz.
I think it was there before we found it.
But was it planted? Unless it. I guess it has to come from there if it's the oldest one, doesn't it?
Well, so what happened is in the heyday of sort of colonial Europe, the French, the Europeans in general took the vine. So you can only make wine from the European variety.
Right.
Do you know what it was called? Harry Potter spell, Vitis vinifera. So Vitis vinifera, you can only make wine from the European variety. So sort of I don't know, 200 odd years ago, they would start taking vines around other parts of the world, and that's why it's called New World.
Okay.
That New World being that the vines have been planted there fairly recently.
Yeah.
Vines. I mean, if you a bit quick history, I mean, vines were probably first planted in, or wine was still properly made, probably in Greece, about 8,000 BC. and then so the Greeks made wine properly, they stored it properly in amorphy jars. The Romans took the vine around Europe, so the Romans were responsible for taking the vines around Europe, and then colonial Europe took the vines out to the New World. Okay, so given that newfound knowledge,
Yeah.
which of those countries would have the oldest vineyards? Chile. So you're persuaded by these guys because they got you wrong last time.
Jeff said Australia, and that's not in Europe. There's quite a few Aussies in here, aren't there?
Well, you've got to make your
Kim
mind.
said USA. Kim, we've just discussed this.
So Chile, France, USA, Australia.
France.
Now you see that you're using logic now, and you say it's good. I'm pleased you're using logic. Why France?
Well, it's going to be wrong, isn't it?
Yes, but why France?
Because it's really chilly.
It's not that cold in France.
It's not that cold in France.
You said it was chilly.
Wherever it is. All right, it's got the joke. That was bad. That was really bad. Wherever it is, you should take us on holiday. That should be the. If I get it right.
Okay, if you get it right, then come on.
Australia.
It is Australia.
Oh, yes! I just wanted to go there.
Mom, have you heard that? He wants to go to Australia. We were going to go by ourselves, weren't we? But he wants to come now. We'll leave the other two at home. They don't mind. So Australia.
Oh, that's interesting.
So how come, given that I've just told you that the Syrah grape was, planted in France, around 2,000 years ago, how come that's not the oldest? Because Australia,
the others haven't survived.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, hey, that's not bad, is it? So yeah, that's right. Why did they die?
They got old.
No.
I don't know. Weather.
Not weather. No, a little bug, a louse actually called phylloxera.
And it just.
Well, this was caused by the British. The British have a lot to answer for when it comes to French wine, European wine. The British were in North America, probably fighting the Americans or trying to do something, and they came across some American vines. This was around 1860, 1870, and they found some American vines, and they got quite excited because they thought, "Oh, this is brilliant! Maybe a whole new set of vines to make wine from." So Vitis Liparia, Vitis Rupestri, Vitis Lamandera. So they got these vines. They brought them into England. Actually looked at them in Kew Gardens, and then took these American vines into France. The French vine Vitis vinifera. Has a problem where as soon as the American vines went into France, and phylloxera, this tiny louse, you can't see it with the naked eye. Right. Once it escaped and got onto the European vine.
Oh really?
Yeah. Right. Okay. So you got they do die, and it doesn't die overnight. It can take 8 to 10 years to die. So the vineyards in France just started dying. They eventually sort of tracked it back and found out it was linked to phylloxera. Linked to this American bug, and they tried all sorts of ways of solving it. They tried burning, they tried flooding, they tried all different things. But phylloxera is very complex in its life cycle. It does its damage when it's in the soil. It survives, and it's in the soil. It basically gets through cuttings in the vine roots, and over time the vine root just gets weaker and weaker, and the vine just eventually dies. So it took quite a long time to find a solution.
Right.
They have found a solution because guess what we're drinking? Okay, they tell
they
you
imported it back in.
Oh,
from Australia.
Well,
close. Somewhere.
Yeah. Well, so what they eventually realised was that because you can't get rid of phylloxera, and phylloxera still exists today. What they eventually realised is the American vine, of course, knows how to repair itself.
Oh, right, okay.
Since it evolved with the phylloxera louse. So in the soil, what they now do is they plant an American rootstock. Yeah. And they graft on top the European variety.
And does the taste?
No. It doesn't make any difference to taste. Right. And nowadays, scientifically, based on the vineyard, based upon the soil, based on sort of other factors, they actually look at what the best rootstock is, and the rootstock's now quite scientific. There's quite a lot of different names for them. They tend to be a sort of a hybrid of American rootstock, European rootstock. That gets planted in the soil. They graft on top of the European variety, so whether it be Chardonnay or in this case Shiraz. So why? That's okay. So that means, around 1870, 1890, the last part of the 19th century, all the French vineyards pretty much had died at some point.
Oh, wow.
And had to be replanted. And therefore, yes, you're right. They brought vines back from the New World. It could be South Africa, could be Australia, back into France and replanted them on American rootstock.
Interesting.
So it happens that Australia, out of the countries I've listed, arguably different people argue that different countries have the oldest vines. But in terms of Shiraz, anyway, what we do know is the oldest Shiraz vines are in Australia.
Oh, right.
And they places like Barossa Valley have some vines there, sort of aging sort of over 120, 130 years old.
Yeah, very. I don't know. Am I meant to say a joke? I don't know.
No, that's not a joke. No, just idea. That's what
yeah,
happens.
it's very good.
Yeah.
Rootstock is just a water channel, says Jeff.
Rootstock is
just a water channel. Don't know what that means. Not clever enough for it. Don't know. Carry on.
Okay. No, carry on. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. It's a good question to get in a pub quiz, isn't it? Basically, you could argue. Some people argue it's Argentina. Some people say it's Chile. But I think for Shiraz, I think we can be reasonably sure it is Australia. Right. So we've tried. What have we tried, Ben? We've tried
this one.
Syrah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we try our Shiraz. So go and grab a glass of Shiraz, and I'm going to try the ass kicker first. You keep laughing every time I say that name. So this is 2016. So again, a couple of 4 years on that. And let's look at it. I mean, a deeper colour for one. Okay, so that's part of a giveaway. Deeper colour for one. Give it a swirl.
It's almost brown, isn't it?
Mm.
Alison wants her chocolate, and I completely agree, Alison.
Oh,
we'll
Alison.
get to it.
Alison, you're right. So let me just finish this off tasting, and then we'll get to the chocolate. I do apologise. We should get to the chocolate soon. So it smells riper fruit, doesn't it?
Yeah, much
black fruit as well. Now black fruit and
quite sweet. You're not getting
sweet. You get
the
sweet spice, don't you?
Kind of.
Correct. Yeah, the other one is more acidic as well. It's a good spot again. See, well learned.
Oh, how good!
I might give you a medium-sized glass.
Check his notes next. Oh, not keen on that one. That's really acidic.
It's not.
What's the other word?
It's full-bodied.
That is very sharp.
Do you think it's sharp?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's nice and rounded and soft and plummy and just full-bodied and very powerful.
Okay, I found that very... Oh.
Did you? Okay. But it's much more powerful wine. I mean, it's reflecting the climate. This is from Australia. It's hot climate. It's full-bodied. It's powerful. It's alcoholic. It's black fruit. It's licorice. It's vanilla. It's all those things going on with it. So, I think if you are... most people, when you do wine tastings, if you want to end the evening, you can end the evening always on a Shiraz because people like that, these big, bold wines. So that was the ass kicker. Let me just have a quick taste of the Grower's Touch. This is 2018. Same part of Australia, same alcohol level. So this is 14%.
It's even darker.
Even darker, isn't it? Yeah, even darker. Let's have a smell again.
Can't see that at all.
Oh, this smells more damsony, more sort of what's the word? Sort of cooked fruits, very ripe fruits. Yeah.
Close to port wine, Charlotte says.
Mm.
Rich, deep, and bold. Dominic says, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Yeah. Very rich, very, very, very powerful. Again, lovely wine. A lot of body there. So what you've got is those two styles. You've got the elegance and the finesse, if you like. Sort of more acidity, leaner bodied. Black fruits, but sort of not as ripe, and perhaps a bit of red fruit, a bit floral in the Syrah. And the two Shirazes, just big, bold, and beautiful. I think. Big,
bold, and beautiful.
Hey?
No comment. I'm not going to say anything.
No, I wouldn't. So I think those. Does that make sense? I think we've got a lot of dark fruits, a lot of chocolate in the Shiraz as well.
Alan can get Christmas cake from it.
Alan, well done. I think you're right. It has that feel to it, doesn't it? It has that feel to it.
Oh, I miss Christmas.
Yeah, you will be around soon. Yeah. Be around
Fingers
soon.
crossed. Anyway.
Fingers crossed.
Will we be out of lockdown?
So who wanted the chocolate?
I think it's Alison, but everyone wants it.
Alison, okay. So what we've got? So I've chosen for Ben And Mom, by the way, Mom's watching live tonight. She said, I poured Mom 3 glasses of wine. I hope you're enjoying the wine, Mom. And chocolate. Okay, so I've got Ben. I might have to help him with this. I've got some green and black chocolates. I'm going to start off with just the milk chocolate. Now, the general consensus is that chocolate really doesn't go that well with these sort of dry wines, but that's nonsense. I love chocolate and wine. And milk chocolate, perhaps again, sort of even more. So there we go. Let's try. That's just a standard.
Chopped it. Very good.
I did, yes. Standard milk chocolate, Ben. So have some milk chocolate. Choose your favourite, whichever one you like best. The first one, probably. Okay. So you're going to try it with the Syrah.
Cheers, big ears.
I'm going to try it with the.
So the same method as before. You chew, get it around the mouth, and then. Very good.
Actually,
what? It's gone quiet.
No, I can't eat and think about chocolate.
You can't eat
and talk at the same time. Mum better watch out tonight.
No comment.
So apparently, I read this. Apparently, if you drink a glass of wine, the person you're looking at instantly becomes twice as attractive. Doesn't work on you, but
because I'm already too attractive. I know. It's tricky.
So that's true. So it's apparently, you suddenly, if you look at someone else, they suddenly become twice attractive. And
I was going to say, really,
and chocolate is an aphrodisiac.
What's that mean?
It means you become sexually sort of more excitable. So tonight, I'm going to drink lots of wine.
You eat a lot of chocolate. I've not seen that happen before.
No, perhaps it just perhaps because I read it, it sort of made me think about it more. Stuck in there. So anyway, so what?
Don't think this is something I want to be talking to my dad about. Let's move on.
We've never had that conversation.
I don't think now's the time.
You sure?
Yeah. I'm not back next week. Yes, Kim. Too much information.
So go on. Then what the white, not white chocolate, the milk chocolate. Have you tried? And you've tried it with it. What did you think?
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, takes away some of the. It kind of mutes the.
I mean, it's you shouldn't really have food that is sweeter than the wine. The wine should be sweeter, but I think it still works because if you like milk chocolate, don't you?
Yeah, and
you like that wine, so it's personal preference overrides anything, and I do too. I mean, I like chocolate and wine. So milk chocolate, yeah, fair enough. You tried it with the Syrah. I tried it with the Shiraz. That works fine. Now we're going to try something a little bit different. This is milk chocolate again, but it's got lots of salt in. Now, what did we learn about salt?
It softens the wine.
Softens the wine.
So with the chocolate, will it do the same?
The salt in there should just help. So try this one with a wine you didn't like and see if it makes any difference. You'll pick up the sea salt as soon as you taste it. Yeah.
That's very nice chocolate just to eat.
It is the best chocolate. Yeah.
It's the one that goes first, isn't it?
Well, Hannah came down and nicked some chocolate earlier. Can you tell which one she nicked?
Oh, is it gone?
Yeah, the white chocolate.
Yeah, but
So you can feel the salt there. So try just try the one of the let's try the Grower's Touch.
That's much easier to drink.
Yeah, I mean, and again, chocolate isn't going to help particularly unless I do like chocolate, but the sea salt again is going to help. And of course, if you're having chocolate with these green and black chocolates, have all different flavours in there, so it's not just simply tasting milk chocolate or dark chocolate. We're going to taste some different flavours.
Loads, isn't it?
Yeah. We do chocolate and wine. I think I mentioned this. We do chocolate and wine tastings where we do these green and black chocolates. So that's a nice evening to do. I'm going to hold up green blacks. They are very nice chocolates. So we've still got some left. So if we get back to running wine tastings before the end of the year, who knows?
Before the date runs out on the chocolate.
That's true. Before the date runs out on the chocolates, we will be doing some chocolate and wine tasting, probably in Warwick. I did have one scheduled. We had to postpone it.
Online chocolate tasting.
So now we're going to try some dark chocolate. Do you like dark chocolate?
I love Bourneville. I've had a whole thing of Bourneville today.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
What's the cocoa content of that Bourneville?
Can't be that high. It's quite sweet.
Is it really? Okay.
I love Bourneville.
Okay. Anyway, so this is a green, but this is dark chocolate. I did choose one. This has a higher cocoa content, so this can work slightly better with some reds.
Yeah.
But it's got hazelnut and currant in. So I add a little bit of sort of bit of sweeter fruit from the currant. So try.
We tried nuts. Was it last week?
We did try nuts. Was it last week?
Almonds.
Almonds last week.
Almonds.
Yeah. So try this.
Had some Cadbury's milk chocolate with Oreo in them. Tastes good with the Shiraz. Why didn't you get me that? I would have loved Cadbury's chocolate with Oreo in it. I think I have Cadbury's chocolate upstairs. The chocolate's good. Can't fault it.
Chocolate's good, and it's made. I think the fruit and the nuts just offset again. So try that with anyone you want.
I'll try it with this middle one.
Okay.
Yeah, it softens it. Actually, they pair really well.
So, guys, what have you tried? Tell me your chocolate and wine.
Bourneville's 50%, by the way.
Is it?
Is that quite low?
Yeah. So I think if you look at some chocolate here, some of you've got these two. So you've got, if you want to try these, we've got a dark chocolate. It's 70%.
I could do 70%.
And 85.
This goes up to 90, doesn't it?
85 is,
85?
I think, in this pack it goes up to 85.
Yeah, that's a bit too much for me.
Okay. Well, you can see if it does. We'll do those later if they work.
What's the milk chocolate?
I didn't tell you, but 30% is it?
Oh right, okay. Yeah. So Bourneville really isn't.
Not 50%. Strangely, no.
Still lovely.
Okay. So the last one I want to try is this one has ginger.
Mm.
And I like ginger. You like ginger, I know. And it's a sort of spice. So Shiraz is supposed to be spicy. So there you go. I'll take a bit of a risk. So see how that works. It's a nice, lovely dark chocolate.
Has anyone tried it with a Yorkie?
I do like Yorkie though. Different type of chocolate. It's an American style chocolate, isn't it?
It's very sweet, isn't it? A Yorkie. It's not the same. It's very nice.
I remember the ads on TV about Yorkie bars.
Yeah, not allowed anymore.
Why?
Wasn't it just for men? That was the branding.
Oh yeah, true.
Dominic said a really long word, and I'm very confused by it.
Ah yes, good. So Dominic is talking about Risciato della Valpolicella. So obviously, if you're looking for some wine and chocolate recommendations, then quite often they'll talk about sweeter wines. And I agree with Dominic, one of the very best sweet wines is an Amarone, but it's not the standard dry Amarone. It's the Amarone that they leave the grapes to risen even more, very high sugar content. So they make a Risciato version, which is actually a sweetened Amarone, and they are delicious. One of the best wines you can drink. Very expensive though. You could try a cheaper one like a Banyuls. Banyuls is a sweet sort of fortified wine from sort of the Rhone Valley. That works quite well. You could try Piec Sherry. That works quite well. So yeah, you can and obviously Tawny Port. Actually, Tawny Port goes really well with milk chocolate. And if you want to try white wines like Viognier or Pinot Gris, then you can find they might work with milk chocolate as well. Some demi-sec fizz can work quite well with sort of milk chocolate as well. So there's lots of choice, and like most things, just experiment, try them, see what works for you. That
ginger was spicy.
It was spicy, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
It'd be a heat, isn't it? Yeah.
It's not my favourite. I think my favourite was probably the sea salt.
That's because you like that chocolate a lot.
But it works well with the wine as well.
It does work well with the wine, yeah.
Just in my opinion.
Well, that's a good opinion to have. That's okay.
I think all my opinions are good opinions to have, but that's down to you. Port is very good with chocolate.
It is, yeah, because port is sweet, so clearly that works very well. And at Christmas time, you get the. I think port it's a bit port. It shouldn't just be for Christmas. Port should be all year round.
If you had it your way.
If I had it my way.
If you were President of the United States.
Don't wish that upon me. Well, you know what?
You'd be telling everyone to drink it, and it would cure all the virus.
I could do a better job than he's doing, but let's not go there. Anyway, so if you want to treat yourself to some of the very best Australian Shiraz, then you got to look for Penfolds Grange. Okay, Penfolds Grange is one of the very best Shiraz you can get. Max Schubert worked for Shiraz back then, and we're talking about 1952. And he'd just come back from Bordeaux actually, and he was looking to make some really top wines. He liked the Bordeaux style, but when he came back to Australia, he found that Cabernet Sauvignon was just not grown that much, so he turned his hand to Shiraz. So in 1952, he produced the first vintage of Penfolds Grange. But by 1957, he was told to stop.
All right.
His bosses said people don't like it, they don't drink it, so stop. He ignored them. He carried on making it, which is good, because by the time they got to 1960, they were now retasting some of the older vintage. They were now retasting the 52 and 53, and they because it needed that time just to soften, just to mellow a bit. And Penfolds Grange now is the iconic, the best Shiraz you can buy in Australia. If you want to buy a bottle of Penfolds Grange, you are talking a minimum of £400 a bottle.
Whew. Is it worth it?
I have a problem paying that much for any wine. Yeah. So worth it is a difficult. I mean, if you've got the money, go for it. Yeah. And is it a great wine? Yes, it's a great wine. And if you can, or you're given it, absolutely go drink it. Worth it? That's too subjective, really. There are many great wines you can buy for a lot less than £400. So if you've got the money, or you simply want to treat yourself, why not? And I mean, it'll age very well. Penfolds Grange will age very long. But normally Australian Shiraz, up to 10 years or so.
But the moral of the story is some people need a bit of time to mature.
They do. Yes, well done. Excellent.
Jeff did say, should chocolate be had at room temperature from the fridge? And we disagree on this.
Well, no, I did different things. Okay, so okay, if you're going to do chocolate and wine pairing, then the chocolate should definitely be room temperature
because
again, flavour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Therefore, it should always be kept at room temperature because the flavour is the only good thing about the chocolate.
But I do apologise, but I do like my chocolate out of the fridge
because you like it crunchy.
Well, I like it. I like to warm it up in mouth. That's a psychopathic tendency. How do you know that? You just made that up.
I'd have.
Yeah. Okay. So I like to warm to my mouth. So I like sort of milk chocolate and largely just warmed up and like this. I don't like chewing it. I like to just suck on it, so to speak. He's going to laugh again. Right. So how are we doing out there? Are we okay? Any comments, Ben?
Oh, Jeff says fridge. Jeff, I don't know what it's with you oldies. You just like this.
Yeah, and we like maybe.
Back when the fridge was invented, it was the new thing, was it? Just to whack the chocolate in.
There you go. So.
And Emily as well.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah. There you go. So anyway, what I want to do now is you've tried the Syrah, you tried the Shiraz. Let's work out which is best. So you're going to do the heart shape one this week because I can't do a heart. I would try to do a heart shape.
Well, did you try it?
No,
try it.
That again.
Gotten better. That's just 2 circles. Oh yeah, there we are. See.
So heart shape if you like the Syrah. Thumbs up if you like the Shiraz. Okay, so if you like the Shiraz better, do the Shiraz. Ben liked the Syrah, so if you like the Syrah better, do the heart shape. Let's find out. Let's find out which is gonna do best. So, thumbs up for Shiraz, heart shape for Syrah.
Just so you know, Rupert said it's room temperature, so whatever he says goes.
Well, when you are tasting chocolate wine, I think room temperature is right. But it's personal preference, like most things, isn't it? See?
Oh, okay. So it's very difficult to tell because we found this out last week. You can press it as many times as you like.
Yeah, well, we can count. Didn't we?
So
didn't we find a count? Let's go to that.
Why?
We found a count, didn't we, last week?
Yeah. So we have to exit. So to exit. So most people are laughing at us, is what you've learned. 32 have said,
and 31.
So it's pretty much half and half.
Yeah.
Well, we think.
We'll press invite. Let's invite those people. I mean, with most things, it's personal, and I think when I do my wine tastings, we always go through at the end of the night, and we go through and find out the top 2 or 3 favourites, and you realise it's very personal. Even if you taste a wine you hate it, it's like somebody else normally finds it in their top 3. So yeah, it's all different.
Shiraz is winning.
Shiraz is winning now, is it?
It's a shame. Maybe we should do one if you like chocolate in the fridge or if you like it room temperature.
Let's not do that. So in terms of food pairings, if you want to look about food, I mean, obviously chocolate works. But if you want to try the cooler style of, like if you like your Syrah, so you're going to go and get. I mean, if you want to get the best, I think the best Syrah from France, then I think go try Hermitage. I think any of those would work pretty well. Try pork ribs. Try cassoulet. Cassoulet is a French dish made with confited duck and pork sausage. That's a great dish to have, by the way. That works really well with Syrah. You could try it with lamb.
Right.
If you're going to go with these fuller-bodied, more powerful Shirazes, then a good old barbecue.
And if you're vegetarian or vegan, is there?
Just tough, really. Isn't it? Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, stronger cheeses with the Shiraz. You can, I think beef, smoked ham. That's the thing. So again, try and think of this flavour. Whenever you're doing food and wine pairings, it's all about sort of how powerful the food is. Try and match the powerful aspect of this. If it's powerful, you want a powerful wine, powerful food. If it's more delicate, try and just tone down on it all. So that's sort of food and wine. I don't know if anyone's got any ideas or thoughts what works well with Syrah and Shiraz.
We know chocolate works well.
We do. I think chocolate always works well, doesn't it? So what have we got? Have I covered everything there, Ben? Any other questions?
Jackie asks, does Ben get a certificate at the end of this?
Actually, I was talking to Mom today about it, because Mom was saying I should pay, and I'm going, no, he doesn't want to be paid.
Do I not?
No.
Oh, that's fine. I don't.
He doesn't want to get paid. It put him under pressure. so that's my rationale anyway. But we talked about doing a certificate for you. We talked about giving you a gift voucher for going to high school, or a bottle of wine, or yeah. So I'll give some thought. Yeah. Well, maybe you can suggest what we present Ben with when you've got fed of us and. Already, so I know. But then we'll present Ben with something. You suggest some thoughts about what I should present to Ben.
Pizza seems to work well with
pizza.
Both.
Yeah, pizza does work. I thought they were suggesting I present pizza to you.
I'd have that. I like my Hawaiian. Jeff asks, New Zealand Syrah, Rob. I'm not sure if it's a question, but
well, that's the one we tried. We just tried New Zealand Syrah. That Pask is New Zealand Syrah, and slightly warmer Northern Rhone, but nonetheless reflects the style. It had the elegance, it had the finesse. I think of.
Dave's got a good idea. Do I get a big wine glass?
Yeah,
no,
possibly. It depends, Dave, how well he does. I mean, I want him to show a bit more commitment to the cause during the week. It's no good just.
Can I get it personalised?
It's no good just turning up on a Thursday night and putting on charm for the audience when all through the week I ask if you want wine. You go,
I made you a cup of tea.
What's that got to do with drinking wine?
I don't know, but it made you happy.
Well, Right, next week, Ben.
Next week, Dad. Do I get the board out again?
Come on. You know the routine then. Next week, I did make a mistake in my newsletter. Apologies. So we got 2 Pinot Noirs next week from South America. I think I put it in South Africa. So South America. 2 premium Pinot Noirs. So if you are going to join us, if you want to get the Fraser's case, the case I put together, the Fraser's case will cover you for the next 3 evenings. It'll have 6 wines in there. These 2 Pinot Noirs from South America. A couple of Sauvignon Blancs on the 14th of May, and a couple of Riojas. I actually tried one of the Riojas today. They're actually really, really good. So if you want to do that, they're available from Fraser's Wine Merchants at £62.45. 45p. And you've only got today and tomorrow to order. So last orders tomorrow for that case. If not, then you'll have to find your own wines or just come along and drink any wine with us. 28th of May, we are going to stick with English wine. I know it's moved back, but I think maybe we'll still be doing these when English wine comes around again at the end of June. But I think we're going to stick to English wine. There won't be any case for that. I'll pop out. In fact, I'm going to supermarket tomorrow. I'll go and choose a couple of English wines. I'll tell you what I've got, and you can either choose something like that, or you can get any good old English wine. So I'm going to get some English wine next week to try for the 28th of May. We've got our Burgundy tasting coming up on the 12th of May. This is our Premier Cru, very top end. I've got mine delivered today. Some really, really nice Burgundy in there. 3 Chardonnays, 3 Pinot Noir. It's £45 for the 3 nights, so it works out £15 a night. And you can have as many people on there as you want, so you can have 2, 3, 4 people. It's per sign-on. I think that'd be good. And we're going to use Zoom, so I've been using Zoom a lot for my wine tasting course. Now, as you interact, I'll see you. We can see pictures of each other, and you'll be able to talk to me and ask me questions directly as opposed to just through comments.
Amy says start Wine TV.
I think Wine TV would be a good idea, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could.
For when you're stuck at home, nothing else to do.
We could do.
Philip Schofield and Holly could host it, not you.
No, we get somebody good.
Or they're also saying Echo Falls on Tap could be the prize.
You do like Echo Falls?
Do I?
One? Which one did you like? Was it Echo Falls you liked?
I think I'm just saying I liked it. It's good for a night out. It's not a good.
Oh, was
drink.
that the one? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Lamborghini. Carry on.
Yeah. One. So either get the case or get your wines ready. I'm not sure the food yet. Oh, Pinot Noir. We're going to go back to softer cheeses. If we can get some crispy duck lined up.
Ooh.
Crispy duck and Pinot Noir so maybe we'll try some crispy duck with our Pinot Noir on the 7th of May. Sauvignon Blanc, I'm going to go back to some goat's cheese. Made on that before, but so we're going to try some soft goat's cheese. So I've got 3 places left for my Burgundy night. Oh, sorry, sorry, you've ordered that very kindly. Thank you. Someone did write a TripAdvisor review for us last week. So let's see if we can get one more this week. We can get one
Just
more.
remember to mention me in, because then I get paid.
You won't get paid.
I will.
So anyway, I'm going to thank my wine school friends. So Jeff, Dominic, Rupert, Katie, and Helen. Thank you for helping me out as always. I do hope to see you soon. Remember, Birmingham Wine School is part of the local wine school network. We've got quite a few wine schools now doing tastings. I'm doing some WSET tasting, so if you have free time, you want to come do an online WSET level 1 course or level 2 course, then we're offering those. They work really well, actually. They're good fun to do. I'm sort of, almost finished one of the courses, so I'm enjoying doing them. I hope the 4 folks who are doing with me are enjoying them as well. So stay safe. Hope you take care. It's a good night from me.
I haven't finished yet. There's questions.
Oh, sorry. I was getting excited. Okay, sorry.
You do.
I
do get excited
easily.
We'll do it quickly. Is there a veggie crispy duck option?
Yeah, not good. You certainly get go to the veg shop. You can certainly get a version of duck, which is I don't fry it. Maybe I don't know, but
yeah, fair enough. Same time, same place next week, 8:30.
Yeah, these are 8:30 every Thursday on Facebook.
After the clap.
Indeed.
Yeah, that was it really. That was all the questions. So it's a good night from him. There we are. See?
That's the wrong way around.
Is it?
Yeah. Good night from me.
And a good night from him. Yeah, I was just finishing off what you started half an hour ago.
Okay. Anyway, thanks guys. Be good. Ben is going to turn me off.
Ah, good.
He certainly doesn't turn me on. Finish off. Thank you guys. Be good. Take care.